Hello, welcome to Wrestling I'm on Space. This is going to be a review for AEW All In 2023. I, of course, Patrick Young. This gentleman to my right is my co-host, Joe Venuto.
Hoskins started off with the 0 hour matches and a reverse twist of fate.
Yes. The 0 hour started off with Aussie Open versus Cole and MJF. I thought it was a decent match to start off with a couple of good moments there and callbacks to the MJF Cole stuff with the kangaroo drop kick and double clothesline again. And they were able to beat Aussie Open. I'm not sure it's going to be certain of the Ring of Honor titles, but I guess it creates a good moment for 0 hour for baby faces to get the win here. This one probably could have had more effort to it, knowing who's in the match, but Cole and MJF are in the main event. You don't necessarily want to risk them getting injured later on, which is kind of the problem with putting them on 0 hour as well. But this was a fine thing to start with. I gave it a C. Second match was Hook versus Jack Perry, with Hook taking the win here. It was a false count anyway, right?
Yes.
Sorry. I wasn't sure if it was one of the other kinds of these matches. Yeah, this was fine. It was a decent fight here that mainly included the limo, which became a bigger deal backstage. Or at least the windshield of it. It was a fine fight, but I'm not sure where either one goes with a Hook victory here. Jack probably could have gotten some more mileage out of the title. Or at least still playing keep away with Hook. But I don't necessarily know what Hook does either. It sort of feels like they just cut the story off. I guess it was okay though. I gave it a C.
Alright, move on to the main show. For the real world title. CM Punk defeats Mojo to retain the real world title.
It's a real thing because it happens on Collision and CM Punk books it.
Right.
To me, this was a perfectly fine match. It worked. Samoa Joe's walk away and let the person just jump in the spot always makes me laugh, and they played a little bit into that with Punk here. Joe's offense was a little bit rough on Punk. Overall, it didn't necessarily blow me away, but it was perfectly acceptable for what it was.
You can tell these two know each other's out, so that helps their matches. They threw in curve with the Pepsi Punch, so the GTS. I'm not sure got the same kind of reaction that as a traditional route will have, ironically. What matters here, they had an opener match, start off the show hot, and these two were good options they had with a rather good match as well.
I gave it a C+.
C+. Up next, the Bullet Club Golden Konosuke Takeshita defeated Golden Elite.
Yeah, this was a fun 6-man tag here. It did like that Takeshita got the roll-up pinfall win here, as I partially expected one of the Elite members to pin one of the Bullet Club Gold members.
Mm.
And then Don Callis would save Takeshita from being get to, and that's when we would get Omega and Takeshita probably all out, which ends up being the case. But now Takeshita actually gets some momentum behind him now, and we'll see where that leads next week. And that story should continue. Just a good 6-man tag here.
Yeah, the match was all action with some JR complaining thrown in about them being too much gold.
He's not wrong though.
And the point was to give Konosuke the first one of Kenny and the two of them have Breaker for so long. This was something by singles match on All Out, but for now there's no reason to have Kane win. Think about the others were mostly good. With Bushi did look better than he did when Guts had fought, so that's they're still a bit slow for him. So very action-packed match though, and the ending was right way to go down. Thinking up.
I give it a C plus.
See. Up next for tag team titles, TR defeat the Young Bucks.
Yeah, a really good tag team match here. If you go online, it's a bit overrated. It's great. It's great for what it is. So if you do that, throw whatever assumptions you have out of your head, and you'll perfectly enjoy this match. It worked, and to me, there should probably be more matches going forward with these two sides, meaning. And the next song would be my best guess would be probably much better. Not saying this is bad or anything, but I think it's on the cusp of something, but just didn't necessarily reach it.
This surprise here with FTR retained. Starting to take it. The exchange of finishers went well done. And the Young Bucks kicked out of Sharon Machine is a lot more acceptable when they ultimately lost. It will be a big stretch for the Young Bucks to win here, I guess. So we'll all get a TR, the Big Rebel, and the Big Sage. Very good matchup too, which should be a surprise.
I give it a B plus.
Same. Same Stampede. Up next, Best Friends Orange Cassidy, A. Kingston, and Pentel Zero Mendeo defeat Blackpool Combat Club Ortiz and Mike Santana.
Yeah, they emphasized the Mike Santana.
Right.
Yeah, this one's gonna go down the divide on how much you like hardcore wrestling and all that stuff. And along those lines, this one was fine. You got like the hardcore heavy spots that you wanted. There's brawling around the arena. I thought they probably could get a little bit more creative, especially with their past stadium stampedes. They had gags there and other gimmicks instead of just people just brawling around the arena. I know this is a Moxley big brawl, but you probably still got at least had a little bit of that. It made it at least a little bit more fun. But this one was more full on with the hardcore spots. And Sue coming in with cookies to save the day. Again, for pretty much those who like the hardcore glass stuff, you're gonna like it. If you're not necessarily gonna be that high on it, which for my taste, it went a little overboard.
This is the wild bloody brawl that needed to be, though. They only did so much outside of the main arena. I guess that's understandable, though, because there was a light crowd. They were all over the place, one same spot or another here, and well, there was a lot going on with the hard foul times. So the heck of a fight, the orange pin Cleo barely somewhere.
Yes. I give it a B minus.
Yes. Same. Women's title match up next, Saraya. Newellmack defeated Molasses, Tony Storm, and Hikaru to win the women's title.
Honestly, I don't really have much to say about this match. The match worked. However, it's still absolutely appalled with whatever they're doing with this division. Just hot-shotting the title. Okay, if you want to give the Saraya the title, fine. I don't know why we needed to actually take the belt and put it on Cheetah for 3 weeks just for that to happen. Because they're already telling the story of Tony separating herself from the Outcast anyway.
Right.
That's already sort of naturally happening. However, I'm partially surprised that Britt didn't get the title here. Because it's AEW's biggest show, she's the biggest woman there. Thank God, though. My preferred result here would have been Cheetah. However, it's Cheetah in AEW, so take that for what you will. Yeah, again, overall, the match worked. It was fine. It went on for about 8 minutes. Didn't overstay its welcome. Kind of short for a woman, I know, but it didn't overstay its welcome for the woman involved. And they got the result they wanted.
There's your feel-good moment for England. And thankfully she at least got the one big entrance as champion on major stage. Saraya win is a great moment for the show. For her hometown. Now, I'm not sure how long of a reach she's going to have. Britt was just kind of there. While Tony and Saraya having issues could go somewhere, they kept it short. Try for the best, but we got work.
I gave it a C.
C+. Qualified match, Sting and Darby Allin defeat Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, my main point of attack for this match is that can we stop seeing Sting in hardcore matches? Because it seems like every pay-per-view they have, he's in a tag team match brawl with Darby Allin as his partner, and they're making him do things like jump off ladders and go through tables and having to guess whether or not Sammy Guevara is ready to jump or not. He's taking some rough-looking bumps at 60, and you don't necessarily have to stop it because I understand the novelty of it. But maybe let's do less of them, because it feels like we're doing the pay-per-views in a row. The match was a fun brawl here. Sting and Darby, the baby faces, triumphed over the evil heels and Swerve and Christian.
There comes a point when you know what you're getting with these Sting matches, and when we reached that point a long time ago. He's going to do his thing. I hate Darby will likely win every time. But this is far on the way there. As usual, I could go about Swerve losing, but you just kind of have to step it up from these days.
I give it a C+.
C+. Next, Will Ospreay defeated Chris Jericho.
I'm going to give this the great match hashtag to it.
Which is your match tonight?
No.
No.
And maybe I'm a little overrating it, but Jericho actually looked pretty good here. Or at least Ospreay made Jericho look pretty good. As Jericho was pulling stuff out that I don't think he's pulled out in a while. And it really worked. And I'm really happy that Ospreay got the win here. As Jericho didn't need the win, because he's been plenty of these shows before. May have not gotten a lot of wins off them, but he's been in plenty of them. But I'm also kind of surprised Jericho didn't win as well, as with how much he hyped it beforehand, and where he called it like the Super Bowl or bigger than WrestleMania and stuff like that. That led me to he's trying to hype up his win, and that Will might beat Jericho at All Out for the United Kingdom title. But anyway, great work from both guys here.
Another really good match here as Will gets the win as he should have. There's only going to be a lot more between Chris and Dom, so having Chris lose his start is the right way to go. Will's on another level at the moment. And while Chris can hang with him, having Chris win might have been a bit too much. I'm not paying a word for match, so as Chris can still bring down under the right circumstances, apparently. And I just realized I almost drank your water to stop myself as I was reading that, yeah.
Yeah, put it over there because I didn't know if you had a drink or not.
Yeah, so I was like right in the middle, I was like, yeah, no, I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't now. But I stopped myself.
A-.
Yeah, A-. Next, True titles Acclaimed the Billy Gunn defeated House of Black.
Well, the Acclaimed daddy aspect of a win, and everybody loves the Acclaimed, so that's pretty much what you could get. That's pretty much the basis of what you need between two bigger matches on your card. It's just a fun trios match. However, I did like the Wyatt reference on the very beginning on the entrance for House of Black here. Yeah, everyone loves the clean, no pun intended, but it worked.
They had to change the titles here, as it would have been quite the punch to the gut if Billy wins again. The Acclaimed needed something to do since they lost the tag team titles, so this was a necessary title change. That being said, this was the fourth no rules crazy tag match of the night.
Yeah.
Cut down those next time.
I give it a C.
C+. And main event, my match tonight, AEW World Title, MJF defeated Adam Cole.
Yeah, my match tonight as well. AEW has their, well, not necessarily as much effort or time put into it, but they kind of have the bloodline storyline going.
Right.
Where you care about what's going on in the match and the story of the match, and that it adds to the overall experience and raises the match higher. To boot, we also got an excellent match with both guys here, and we had a lot of fun with the babyface heel characters on what they will be able to, on what they were willing to do to win the title. Even cheating parts or fake cheating or and all that stuff. I probably could do with less overacting by Roderick Strong here. As if anything, with the Diamond Mine, the last year or so in his tenure in NXT, Roddy can't really talk or overact. He's a really good wrestler, and he can pretty much chop the shit out of people and do that. So I could probably use less overacting, even though he's in a neck brace. It'd probably still be better if you kept him to a minimum. Like, yeah, I get that he would be upset, but does he really have to act like a spurned boyfriend in a teen movie? Like, is that what we need him to do? I mean, because think about it, it's funny, but it's kind of also the annoying part of that feud. But overall, excellent match, fun story, and really good journey with these two. And we will still continue to see which one is going to turn on who.
Yeah, the action was very good here, but the storytelling was better. With the teases to turn and Ryan not be able to get him to go full evil. Well, matters here is having a result, like I said, more than a few different results as a rematch in Chicago next week on Shockwave. Had a good story here, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter.
I give it an A.
A nice. Post match, they tried MJF just couldn't title him with the hump to make Brian Mayer the Kingdom Hell right back. And they're back in Wembley next year for All In 2021.
Yes.
Overall?
Overall, I'm going to give this one a B-. The big matches at a minimum delivered the goods. Jericho and Ospreay, in my mind, exceeded expectations. Coleman MJF is one of the better stories AEW has had. I put the big three, but I put two there. I'm sorry. FTR and the Bucks. Well, I also thought was a really good tag team match. However, minus those three, the show was fine, but it didn't necessarily feel anything like it, and nothing else really felt like it needed to be off Dynamite, or Collision, or Rampage, or Ring of Honor, I guess. But they're lucky the big three helped, and the atmosphere also helped in a big spot as well.
Yeah, I did show B. The show was certainly a hit because the work matches were good enough. Shows where the atmosphere and look were that mattered. But then the wrestle did a little time as well. It's not a home run for AEW, but while they had to scramble for All Out in a week, they had more than earned a victory lap for this show, and still for the atmosphere a little more checking out up and down for the great show. I remember.
The real test is going to be what they do next week to bounce off of this. And only have 1 week to do it.
Yeah. We tied in the predictions. So on Wednesday you'll be getting probably doing Beach Place 1993 retro review, and I will be doing
Bash of the Beach 2000 to coincide with our to our Save Wrestling series,
which will be next Monday. The Save Wrestling series on Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
As well as our Payback predictions and review, and our All Out predictions and review, and our
Survivor Series
2013 retro review,
yeah,
and also on the 20 time side things, we're doing the greatest tag teams in wrestling history, not WWE, but also check out. We just did 2 weeks ago the greatest woman in WWE history to her controversial result, proving right now.
Joe's just butthurt because his pick didn't make it.
And also, I'm also happy that their pick is proving me right. Watch you show them one. And then also,
I mean, your pick's not doing much of anything either, so.
no, it should be some good matches for people.
Maybe her and Trish don't have chemistry.
I don't know. No, maybe there's a reason. Maybe Becky should have been eliminated before the finals. Maybe Natalia should have made Cinderella run to the finals. And then Charlotte won. And then also when we did the top, what was all in our SummerSlam countdown.
Yes. Which is not SummerSlam season, but it sure is a fun time to listen to.
Yeah. And then, like I said, next Sunday, so sometime the following week, you'll be able to see our greatest tag teams of all time, which that will include every company ever, so that one should not be controversial if the Bucks get eliminated.
Yeah.
I'm proud of shit. Or wait till the topics I make for the Usos, or why the Usos should be in the finals, because they're the only tag team to ever be in an ace storyline to me in WrestleMania. See you then!
Yeah, we'll see you then.